Hi, everyone. Welcome to Stogie Geeks Shorts. In this edition, we're going to talk about building your own Coolidor. I have with me on the lines via Skype, Will Cooper. Welcome, Will.
Hey, Paul, this is one I've been looking forward to talking about.
Yeah, and we're going to make sure that there's plenty of content in this video so that everyone knows what's going on and has lots of visual examples. I've got some props here in the studio that I want to show off as well. So I want to start by talking about acquiring a really inexpensive humidor. Maybe it's an overflow humidor. Maybe you don't care what it looks like in your house. Here in the studio, I maintain two of these for our review cigars and some other cigars as well. So I want to talk about where you get the cooler from. You can buy this at Walmart. You can find it online on Amazon. You can go to your garage and, clean out an old cooler. You can get a small cooler. You can get a large cooler. You can even use Tupperware and use the same things I'm going to talk about. So it's pretty inexpensive. Now, I bought some really big coolers. One of them is like that 200-quart gigantic, Coleman thing. But I found other ones online for like $40 or $50. And, again, you can get a cooler from your garage or at a yard sale. However you want to acquire your cooler is totally up to you. I don't think the kind of cooler matters as long as it's just a static cooler. You do want to wash out your cooler, whether it's new or whether it's used. You want to wash it out. I like to use baking soda and vinegar. I mean, both if you really want a spectacular effect. And maybe rubbing alcohol, distilled, rubbing alcohol, those kind of materials that are going to evaporate after you clean with them. Don't use soap or anything like that. I tend to stick with, I use distilled water, distilled vinegar, or some kind of rubbing alcohol if there's some like really bad stains in there. Baking soda can work for that too.
Great, yep.
So clean it out. After whatever you do with it, whether you wipe it down, let it air out, let it dry out, let that any kind of plasticky smell dissipate. So you may have to leave it for a day, 24 hours open, just to kind of let that smell dissipate. It's always a good thing to do. Now, optional. Now, you can just put cigars right in there. I mean, if you've got Ziploc bags like I have here, and you've got a Boveda pack in it, you can just put that right in the cooler. But what I like to do, I like to, spruce it up a little bit. I like to take some Spanish Cedar. Now, this was actually a shelf in one of my other humidors that I modified, with some breathable holes in it and stuff when it was actually part of the shelf. But any kind of Spanish Cedar will do. I bought this online on like a woodworking place. I bought a box of Spanish Cedar. It can be kind of expensive. You may want to check out, see if you can buy planks of it at your local woodworking store or lumber yard. May carry it. They may be able to order it for you. But again, I bought mine online, and I used it to make some shelves. And now I don't have that humidor anymore, so I basically use these planks, and I stick them on the side, or I just line the bottom of my cooler with the Spanish Cedar. And what this is going to do for you is help maintain the humidity in your humidor, right? It's going to absorb some of that humidity. It's going to help keep things constant inside of your humidor. Make sure you're using Spanish Cedar. Very important.
The Spanish Cedar is important because it can breathe.
Yes.
And that's going to be key, when you want to hold, you want it to hold some of that moisture.
Yeah, don't buy that cedar that you put in your closet. That will make your cigars go bad. It will.
Yes.
Yeah, that has a nasty smell.
Yep.
So I also buy these Spanish Cedar trays, which are nice. These can be a little pricey. There's a couple of online places I found that carry these. I've never seen these in a brick and mortar store before. But I have found these online. They're just Spanish Cedar trays. Sometimes you can get them from the place you buy your humidor from, if you're buying a large cabinet. Sometimes you got to look online and find them. There's a couple different places that have them. They're really nice. The nice part is they hold your cigars. You can put, like I did, you can stick a Boveda pack right inside of your tray for extra, protection and humidity. Now, when I stack these, I have a smaller one here. I try and leave room to breathe, right? I try not to stack them like right on top of each other like this, because it tends not to let the cigars underneath breathe, and you might get, as moisture gets trapped in there, and you might get mold. So I always like to offset them in the humidor so that the trays have room to breathe. Now, underneath, I don't know if you can see that. See how there's like little slots? So there is some breathing room underneath as well. These are really nice. I like these trays a lot. They're a little pricey. It's going to, jack up the price a little bit, but it allows you to organize your cigars and gives you that nice Spanish Cedar effect. This one, this is from a box. I don't remember. Yeah, this is from a box from a manufacturer that had a tray inside of their box. It actually says Asylum Cigars on the bottom, Will, if that means anything about
They
where it came, which line from Asylum it came from. But
they use big cigar. I mean, they have big. They package their stuff in 30 or more count boxes, so I can
yeah,
see
so
that.
this was free, and I repurposed it,
Oh
which
wow.
is really great. So, yeah, so add trays if you want. Now, humidification. We talk a lot about humidification. I'll keep it really simple. Use two-way humidity systems in your coolers. I've experimented with some of the more expensive electronic ones. It's almost like the cooler's not big enough to absorb that much moisture. I mean, unless you line the whole inside with Spanish cedar, which you could do conceivably. But I tend to find that, I don't know if it makes an airtight seal, but if I put like an active humidification device with fans that's holding, distilled water in a sponge or some kind of thing, the humidity gets too high in my humidor. So I have switched all of my Coolidors to two-way. Boveda. Is it Boveda or Boveda?
Boveda.
It's Boveda. Okay, good. Boveda packs, very important. And humidity beads. Humidity beads are awesome. This is a gigantic pack. This is a pound of 65% humidity beads. Now, you do have to charge these, which means you just spray them with a little bit of distilled water. Don't put too much. And the manufacturers will tell you exactly how much distilled water to put over the beads so that they can maintain that 65%. I typically put these in bags. I mean, you can put these in anything, really. Nylon stockings, whatever. I bought the bags that went with these that came from the manufacturer that you put them in, which is like a mesh bag, so it's breathable. And you charge them up. And you can't put too many in your humidor. You can put 4, 5, 6 pounds. You just got to kind of experiment.
They'll self-regulate.
And they will self-regulate. They will emit humidity when it's too low. They will absorb if it's too high. So they're great for winter, great for summer. It's just a perfect solution, I find, in your Coolidors. Now, there's a couple of kind of optional things. The other thing I should say is, bags are okay too. If you want to put one of my humidors, I put a lot of these hefty Ziploc bags. Go to the store, get the nice, this is a promotion for hefty, but get a nice Ziploc bag, right? A brand name Ziploc bag, not a knockoff thing, and get the one with the, little plastic tab that moves on the top. Get a good, freezer bag, and make sure it's closed, and put that Boveda pack in there. And you can put a ton of cigars in there. You can't put too many Boveda packs inside of this bag either, because again, they're two-way. And you can just place these right in your Coolidor. A couple optional things. A hygrometer. This happens to be a pretty expensive hygrometer. This is from a company called Control 3. This is a traceable. This is like, I don't know, these are like $50, $60 roughly, but they're calibrated to be within like 0.001% humidity accuracy. So I'll use this as a gauge to see where my humidors are. So make sure you use a good quality hygrometer. I mean, one of these is a little pricey, but I think it's well worth the investment. The other thing too is fans. So the last piece that you can add is a fan. Some people take those, what do they call them, Will, the air fresheners. There's a particular brand of air freshener. You can take the air freshener piece out. You can let it, dissipate whatever smells it has on it, and then put that in your humidor, and it'll come on every 15 minutes for a minute and blow air through your humidor, which is good for circulation. It doesn't let pockets of humidity build up.
Right.
There are manufacturers coming out, and some already do have fan systems of varying price and degrees and speeds and all that stuff. Not a bad option for your Coolidor. That really kind of soups it up. I know there's a major manufacturer coming out with one, Will. I don't know if it's public yet, but I know it's going to retail for around $40 for a really cool fan.
Cool.
Battery powered, and you can mount it right in there. So
cool.
That's how we do the Coolidors. I think it's really a great way to store a ton of cigars. Will, I don't know if you have anything else to add or questions for me on how we do this.
No, I think we covered it all. Like I said, this is it's an economical way to do things, especially if you don't know how many cigars you're going to have. The one comment I will make is breezing is very important. We all like to stuff into a humidor. Don't be. And we've all done it too. When you overstuff it and it can't breathe,
yes,
the airflows are going to be constricted, and you're going to have issues. So
yeah, you're going to have mold most likely.
You can overfill your humidor is the answer.
Yeah, so just go out and buy another cooler. That was my solution.
Exactly.
So,
Very
two big
inexpensive.
coolers. Very.
Yep.
I mean, if you price out humidors that can hold that many cigars, they get really pricey, Will. Really pricey, really fast. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
that's why I think this is a great way to, like you said, very economical way to store all of your cigars, some of your cigars, maybe all of your cigars, in a very cost-effective manner, which is really nice. So.
Yep.
Thanks, everyone, for watching Stogie Geeks Shorts. Make sure you check out the Stogie Geeks Show, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursdays, right up until May 9th. We'll be broadcasting 6:30 to 8:30 every Monday. All of the cigar reviews and news can be found on cigar-coop.com. Thanks for watching.